Houston Bayou Greenways trail system is 150 miles of hike and bike trails along 9 of Houston's major bayous. The concept was to run trails along these systems to provide access to recreation as well as alternate transportations. And this is essentially creating linear parks in areas where it would normally just be used to move water from the west of town to the east of town in these natural bayous. It's really exciting. It's the biggest project of its kind in any major city.
We will have completed 150 linear miles of trails along Houston's major waterways and also conserve and protect 2,600 acres of green space along with those trails.
The restore funds can be used for a number of different things, but what it really comes down to is restoring the Texas Gulf Coast, making it more resilient for the next storm or the next oil spill that we might see, and we know we're going to at least have a storm. But it's also about providing opportunities for the public to go out and enjoy some of the lands that are still available on the Gulf Coast.
So as part of the Restore Act, Houston Parks Board was awarded a federal grant in the amount of $7 million for land acquisition along Clear Creek Corridor. The purpose of the Restore Act is to preserve and conserve green space along Clear Creek Bayou. We were actually looking for connectivity because you have El Franco Lee Park to the west, and then you have Tom Bass Park to the east. And these particular parcels, as part of the Restore grant, were large acreage tracts in between both parks. So with that said, we look for connectivity. So this concentration of green space was ultimately ideal for the project. We acquired the land and then we actually transferred it over to the city of Houston. So the city of Houston actually holds possession of the land going forward.
So essentially 60% of all Houstonians will be within 1.5 mile walk to a park and a greenway that connects throughout town. You have land that has not actually ever been developed here that we can bring into the park system. You also have an ability to eradicate the invasive species.
We'll also be planting native trees and native wildflowers and grasslands as part of our efforts to restore and conserve the native habitats associated with those trails.
The restoration of these grasslands will be incredibly important for slowing water down into this area.
While this funding is sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the state of Texas and for the Texas Gulf Coast, that actually provides help with flood mitigation and ultimately water quality, as it keeps those banks from being developed and honestly covered in concrete, allows that land to stay raw and allows it to act as almost a filter to the water that's running into those bayous.
Houston has been blessed and cursed in some ways by these amazing bayous that we have running through our city. And they're a blessing because they move the water out. They also provided a means for the original commerce coming into Houston. What had been essentially a negative for Houston, these bayous that flood, has actually become a positive. There are very few cities in the United States that have as much parkland near so many of their citizens as Houston does because of the Bayou Greenway project.